give it a minute to send some notifications out that I am live because we did not plan this or schedule it ahead of time. So I'm just gonna give it a minute or two and let some people hopefully come in as I send out some notifications. So bear with me here. Get a drink of water here. I am actually streaming from bed today because I'm having a bad flare up because of yesterday, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. Hey, thank you for stopping in. I see your comment. I see Georgianne coming in too. Thanks for stopping in. There it goes. It's showing me numbers. It said 0 in the house, so I was like, okay, I see you guys' comments. Oh, Rocky is doing. I better not say his name too loud. I see Diane coming in. Hey, everybody. Bear with me here. I'm on my phone. I'm live streaming from bed today because I'm in a lot of pain. I had a really bad flare up, but let's dive into it. I see a couple people in the house here. So, yesterday I was working. I see Linda coming in. Hey, Linda. I was working, and the last 2 days I basically was leaving the puppy dog alone in the suite, and I was more in my office and stuff like that the last couple days, not having immediate supervision over him. Now, his neutering was last Monday, not this week, the last week. So I figured, he has to wear the cone for about 10 days. At that point, it was already day 8. I figured he would probably be alone or be fine being alone for a couple hours. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. Until yesterday. I got back to the dorms actually pretty late. I typically take an hour lunch between 11 o'clock to noon or noon to 1. And I got back to the dorms, I think, about 2:30. And I started microwaving some food, and I noticed Rocky was being really fatigued and just not acting like himself, and a little bit of whining here and there. And at this point, his antibiotics. I see Nancy coming in. Hey, Nancy. Rocky's antibiotics and everything were gone. It was only a couple days I had to give it to him. So again, we're on like day 8. Yesterday was day 9. Day 9 of 10. So I go over, and I hadn't checked his stitches yet for the day, but they're supposed to dissolve around day 10 or so. And the last, bear with me guys, I'm struggling here. What was it? So yesterday was Wednesday, day before was Tuesday, so Monday. Monday, Rocky was laying up on the bed with me, and he rolled over onto his back, so I was able to very clearly see where he was neutered and check the stitches and everything. And I noticed that the swelling had finally died down at this point, and that everything was like normal skin color pretty much. So everything was looking great on Monday, and I noticed Tuesday that it started to get really swollen. So I was starting to get concerned. Wednesday, it was still really, really swollen. Yeah, Wednesday. I'm trying to think here. What day is it, guys? Thursday? Thursday. So no, Tuesday. Monday, Sunday I checked, he looked fine. Monday, it started to get swollen again. Tuesday, I went up to Ashland, and I got antibiotics again for him, plus some pain relief because of the fact of how swollen it was, and it was like a super, super beet red. So I was really concerned at that point that all of a sudden it was getting swollen again. So then, here we are. I'm giving him the new antibiotics and everything yesterday. And like I said, I got back late. I go to check, and he's bleeding. He's got blood on his bed. There's some blood on the carpeting here. And he's just not acting himself. So I go into a panic instantly. I call up the vet, the emergency number, and I just tell them that he's bleeding from his surgical wounds and I don't know what to do. So they asked me to take a picture and send it to them. I do. They're going to show it to the doctor and get back to me right away. So while I'm waiting for them to call me back and look over the picture, I run. Now, keep in mind, guys, again, my medical problem is I am dealing with internal hemorrhoids. So for probably about 9 months, I have not been able to run at all. Running even a little bit causes a really, really bad flare-up for me. But yesterday, entering the state of panic, I did not care. Everything went out the window. I did my very best to run out to my vehicle, drive it up to the dorms, and at that point, I started doing a lot of heavy lifting, taking the seats out of the vehicle, carrying them into the building, into my suite, so that way I could bring Rocky out and put him inside of my vehicle. So while this is going on, they call me back. They aren't too concerned, but they think that somehow he is licking or the wound has reopened. The stitches have gotten ripped or due to his licking have maybe started to dissolve a little sooner than they should have. So they tell me that they would like me to bring him in if I am able to, and they say if not, it's probably going to be fine, but they would like me to bring him in. And of course, I'm in a state of panic, so I'm like, yes, I'm bringing him in. I already messaged my RAs. I messaged my boss saying, hey, I have an emergency. I'm going off campus, and that's pretty much all I said. And I was like running to get the vehicle and stuff. So we get Rocky in the vehicle. We're driving halfway to Ashland, which is about an hour away. I start having a really, really bad flare-up. One of the worst, not even one of, the worst flare-up I have ever had with my medical stuff. It was so bad I could barely sit on the seat in the vehicle. There were several times that I thought about pulling over because I was in so much pain. I didn't know if I was going to be able to drive. But I kind of kept like moving around, and basically it reminded me of when I was on the plane to Europe. I couldn't sit still. I had to keep moving around and trying to get comfortable, and I obviously didn't want to stop. I wanted to get Rocky to the vet right away, especially because by the time I got up there, it was about 4 o'clock. Technically, they close at 5. I didn't know how long it was going to be to look them over, or if they needed to redo the stitches. I didn't know how any of that was going to be, so I really just was focusing on getting to the vet. So we got to the vet yesterday, and they do a quick look over. They didn't really get an in-depth look. Basically, one person was petting Rocky, and he loves the vet, you guys. It has become one of his favorite places to be. And I am so thankful that we've been able to make it that way. I know so many animals dread the vet, but when I pulled into the driveway of the parking lot, Rocky started whining with excitement because he knew where he was at. So, as I was saying, we're inside now. One of the nurses is kind of like petting him, distracting him, and the doctor goes to lift his leg and get a little bit of a look. And at that point, it's what I call, and I've called it this for years, Rocky let out his back the fuck up bark. It was his one and only warning because, like, I know Rocky very, very well. And sometimes if he barks, he's being playful, stuff like that. But this bark was a back the hell up bark. He did not want to be touched. He did not want anybody in that surgical area. And I kind of also noticed that the night before. I told the doctor that typically he will lay down very casually and he will let me lift his leg up. The night before, I went to lift his leg up and he didn't try to snap at me or bite at me, but his head kind of instinctively reacted towards my arm. He didn't try to bite me. I didn't, just making that very clear. Didn't try to bite me at all. but his head kind of shot towards the arm, like, what the hell are you doing type of deal. And I knew something was not right. So they look it over. He is now on 3 medications. Luckily, for many of you who have followed me for a long time, you know Rocky is horrible with medication. There is actually like, I describe it as, do you guys know the cracker spray for humans? You have that spray in a can and it's like a cheese. Basically, they make that for dogs, and there's a peanut butter flavor, and Rocky is a great communicator, Linda. Absolutely agree. And I see Diane's comment now saying poor pups in pain. Very much so. But they make this spray basically for dogs. I found it first in Canada, and I bought a really big can, and it worked perfect. Every single time Rocky had to take a medication, I would put the pill on a plate and then cover it up in that peanut butter spray. He would take it every single time. So I ended up buying some more of that now. I found it locally. And like I said, he's on 3 medications. He also has to, give me a second here. He also has to take a cream that I have to apply. So he's hanging in there, but basically what the vet told me is that even with how big of a cone he currently has on, Rocky is so intelligent, and I quote, this is the exact words the vet used, Rocky is so intelligent that what he is doing is he is pushing the cone further back on his head on purpose. So that way, between the cone being further back and his long stout, he can actually lick the surgical area. So as you guys can see too, he is not reacting to me saying his voice or anything right now. He is really, really tired. I am trying to keep him relaxed. I am trying to keep him calm. I am trying to let him get as much rest as possible. I was talking to somebody the other day, yesterday, about my bedding here, because you guys can see it's covered in dog fur. Obviously Rocky is bleeding a little bit here and there, so there's going to be blood on my bed. I'm not able to sleep pretty much at all, to the point where I was kind of laughing last night, like I'm going to have to get on the floor and sleep on the floor while he sleeps on my bed. But I don't care. My number one priority in life is making sure that he is taken care of, and that he is relaxed, and that he is going to be okay. So that is what happened there. That's what the vet was saying. That must be the case. And they were kind of laughing because I face palmed and shook my head, and I said, honestly, with him, I would not be surprised. He is so intelligent. Sometimes he is too smart for his own good, and he can tend to be a pain in the butt when I am trying to help him with things such as giving him pills, because in the past, throwing it in dairy meat or cheese or anything like that, he'd always figure it out. If I mixed it in peanut butter, he'd always figure it out. So, he's doing a lot better, but I was kind of like, okay, that's probably correct. And sure enough, I was driving back from Ashland, you guys, and I look in my rear view mirror, and what do I see? Him licking his surgical wounds with the cone on. So I'm like, oh my god, you son of a gun. You pain in my butt. So he still has the same cone right now. The vet, that is the biggest one they had. So then I stopped at a couple Tractor Supplies, a couple pet stores along the way from Ashland back to Ironwood. None of them had a cone bigger than what he currently has. The vet had to go ahead and special order it. And there's only one cone that the vet even knows about that is actually bigger than the one he currently has on. So they special ordered it. It should be in tomorrow afternoon. So in the meantime, I am working from in my suite. I am staying right by his side because that is when he is most relaxed. Mainly working from bed, so he stays here and sleeps as such, but also gives my body a physical break because of how much pain I am in because of all the heavy lifting and running I did yesterday. And I'm just working remote. I did some virtual meetings today. I'll do some virtual meetings tomorrow over my computer. Kobe, if you use pool noodles, it keeps their head from bending. Thank you, Georgian. That's really, really great to know. I will look into that. Oh, he's awake. He knows we're talking about him. He's probably gonna itch. He hates that cone because he itches all the time. But that is what's going on with him. He should be fine. At this point, today was supposed to be the last day that he had to wear the cone, but due to the circumstances, he now has to wear the cone. Yes, I'm talking about you. Don't give me that look. You have to wear it. He has to wear it for at least one more week straight. At that point, we're going to see, because the antibiotics last a week, the cream lasts a week. We're going to see how he's doing at that point, and we're going to decide if he's going to go up to the vet again or if he's going to stay at home. The vet thinks basically a week from now he's going to be okay and that everything will be done and over with for the most part. So that's where we are at with him and his health. Yesterday was a bit of a scare, but it looks like everything is going to be okay. With me and my medical stuff, I was supposed to be doing some different practices for about 3 weeks, and if my problems weren't fixed by the end of those 3 weeks, I was going to get referred to surgery. Well, with how bad it is today and how bad it was yesterday after doing all the heavy lifting and running, I just messaged my specialist this morning and I asked them, hey, I work at the college. I have graduation coming up on May 10th, which keep your guys' eyes out. Maybe I'll have a live stream for that. Maybe I'll get to walk during the ceremony. I'm not sure. I really, really want to, but between my health stuff and being an employee, I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but stay tuned. I'm looking into it, but I explained that I have that coming up as well as my trip to Kenya middle of June, and I basically said I'm really concerned about the recovery time, so how soon can I get in, basically. And they sent my message over to the surgical department, and they said they'll get back to me right away. And that was this morning. I haven't heard anything yet, but it's been a week and a half of doing the techniques they told me. It's not helping. It doesn't seem. I know recovery time lasts a long time. I need to be good for my Kenya trip, so I'm taking the next steps here to probably get surgery myself. And as a result, Rocky is probably going to be boarded for about a week. From my understanding, after the surgery, I am not going to be able to walk. I am going to be pretty much bedridden at least 3 to 4 days. And at that point, I still have to take a full 2 weeks off of work. After that, it's still a full 4 to 6 weeks to fully heal, which is why I need to get in now so that way I'm good for Kenya. But yeah, that's the plan here. Rocky should be good in about a week. I'm going to try to get in as soon as Rocky's good to go. I'm going to try to get in, get a consultation, get that surgery set up so then I could get in, get that surgery right away, be off of work for 2 weeks, and then get stuff rolling for Kenya. I got to apply for visas. My flights, I'm going to have to upgrade the seats to business class. I am still doing that, damn it, because I deserve it. I don't care if my medical problem is fixed and I'm more comfortable in economy and stuff. Oh my god, flying to Europe with this medical problem. Worst experience of my life on that flight. So painful, so uncomfortable. I deserve some business class seats. And with all the stuff going on right now, I think it's going to be nice. Rocky being boarded, he'll enjoy that. It's always a vacation. It'll be a vacation for me in a way, but I will be stuck in bed. I'll be stuck on a couch, essentially. But relaxing is the must. It's a must right now. I need to accept that this is the steps I need to take in order to achieve where I want to be and where I want to go. So right now, Rocky is priority number one. I'm sorry. I know you guys understand. I appreciate all your patience, your understanding. I know you guys want to see my Europe stuff, my Europe videos. I will get to those. I promise. I will get to those eventually. But right now, Rocky is my number one priority, followed by me, number two, getting my health stuff fixed, and then number three, finishing my classes, because I am also taking classes, remember. And I did not come this far to fail these classes now, to drop out of these classes. I am 7 weeks away, 7 weeks away from graduating. I will finish this semester. It will be rough for both Rocky and I, but we will get through it. I see Georgianne saying she wants to go to Kenya. Sorry about my finger here. I'm not used to streaming on my phone anymore. I don't know if I ever told you guys this. The way I picked Kenya, it was very high on my bucket list. I was kind of hoping for it. I left it to fate, actually. I'll say that. Not luck. Fate. I think it was fate. I basically took 9-10 locations. I put it on a wheel, and I spun the wheel, and that's where I was going to go. So Kenya is what it landed on, and I could not be more excited about that because I was so like, fingers crossed, hoping that it was going to be Kenya. I see Linda saying I've got a lot going on. Absolutely. The bird video, everybody loves that bird video. And then I see Georgianne saying, take your time, Kobe. You have so many things going on. Yes, absolutely. So many things. And so many things rely on other things. Like Rocky being boarded. I need to make sure that he is healthy enough to be boarded. I need to double check. I'm pretty sure he is. I need to double check, though, that he's up to date on the kennel cough, all of that. I know it expires sometime here because I have an appointment end of May to get him reshots and whatnot for my trip in June. So all of this stuff right now, from this point forward, his recovery, my surgery, my recovery, graduation, my classes, the Kenya trip, applying for visas, everything needs to go just right. It all needs to line up exactly, because if it doesn't, and I hate this part, I try to avoid this at all times, but at this point in my life, these next couple months, if one thing does not line up the way I need it to, everything falls apart. So I can't have my surgery until Rocky's healthy enough to be boarded. And like for example, there's all that different stuff. I can't call the boarding place and ask, hey, do you have a spot for Rocky, until I know what date I can have my surgery. There's so many things that, like details, logistics of it, that need to go just right. So that is where I'm at right now. That's where Rocky's at. We're struggling physically. Mentally, I will say myself, I'm doing a lot better. Even though a lot's going on, it's so much better just to have answers and know, okay, this is what I need to do. because that, I think, was really what was getting me down and honestly getting me depressed a little bit, was not having any answers and just struggling through all of this. At this point, I clearly know what needs to be done, and it's going to suck. I know it will, but I will stick through it. I will get through it, and so will Rocky. So, again, I thank you guys for all of your patience, your understanding, your support. It's been a rough 2024 so far, but hey, on the plus side, we had some breaking analytics. I'm going to be graduating in a couple weeks. Rocky's medical stuff should be fixed soon. I finally got some medical answers for myself, so hopefully that's going to be fixed soon. And before you know it, it's going to be summer, warm weather, some camping, some road trips, the trip to Kenya. So there's good things on the horizon too. We just, gotta ride the low right now. Gotta ride the low. We'll get through it. So I'm just gonna end this live stream there, guys. I didn't plan on going for a full hour, but Captain Jack went last night, and then Nate went last night as well. And I just wanted to give you guys an update on Rocky. I know a lot of people were concerned and scared with my post yesterday, hearing I had to rush him up to the vet. So that's he's huffing and puffing. I don't know if you guys can hear him right now. He just let out a giant sigh. He really hates that cone. But yeah, so until the next time, guys, take care. And I'll keep popping into Captain Jack's and Nate's live streams if and when I'm able to, so I hope to see you guys there. Take care, guys, and have a good night.